Trustees, we now move on to recognizing another stalwart of our community, a person that many of us that have been on this board know very well, who also sets a high bar in terms of community service, just selfless dedication to others, and even up to most recently, a selfless dedication to the community in terms of continuing to keep funding and that priority of funding of the Ann Arbor Public Schools alive and well in our community. And that is, of course, our former trustee and colleague, Glenn Nelson. So we're also honoring him, recognizing him tonight for his efforts for many years as well, and including very recently. Dr. Swift.
Well, it is a great day to be honored and be honoring two amazing community members. During this past year, welcome. I fondly refer to you as Trustee Emerita Glenn Nelson, who has continued to demonstrate his tremendous commitment to the Ann Arbor Public Schools, most recently through his tireless effort to support the 2017 Sinking Fund Millage. Glenn was the unofficial leader of the Citizens Millage Committee, producing proposed agendas, working collaboratively to keep meetings moving forward productively. He worked with student volunteers from Skyline High School who worked to campaign. He canvassed neighborhoods, I think, along with those students, but also on many Saturdays, Sundays, he canvassed without the students. He was doing the canvassing. He also was a smiling face at the door of many fall and early spring events before the weather changed. You had some inclement weather out there, handing out thousands of brochures at countless school functions in an effort to ensure that our parents and voters had all the factual information that they needed to make a good, solid decision. The efforts of Glenn Nelson on behalf of the Citizens Millage Committee helped lead to a more than 70% approval for the $200 million Sinking Fund Millage question, and helped us to gain success with this referenda. We know that this 2017 Sinking Fund enhancement will make a profound and positive difference for our students, our staff, our parents, and community. The millage will positively impact our district sustainability for a very long time into the future. It will improve the physical condition of our 32 school buildings. And Trustee Nelson is the only way I know to call you. Trustee Nelson, I want you to know that we are this evening approving and considering actions for our 32 buildings based on the additional revenue that we are anticipating. So we know that it will impact the quality of the learning experience for our students in the Ann Arbor Public Schools over decades to come. In the March 2016 article in The Atlantic, it's one of my recent favorite articles, entitled 11 Signs That a City Will Succeed. The author lists as sign number 2, you can pick out the local patriots. Fallows, the author, states it this way: you can pick out the local patriots in cities that will succeed. A standard question asked was, who makes this town go? The answers varied widely. Sometimes it was a mayor or a city council member. Sometimes it was a local business person or a real estate developer. Sometimes a university president or a professor, a civic activist, an artist, a saloon keeper, a historian, or a radio personality. In one city in West Virginia, the author noted, we asked a newspaper editor the question, who makes this city go? And the answer turned out to be a folk musician who was also a civic organizer. What mattered in the study, however, was that the question had an answer. folks knew who the local patriots were. And the more quickly that answer came to the lips of individuals in the town, the more sure that the city would succeed. In Ann Arbor Public Schools, Dr. Glenn Nelson serves as the embodiment of a local patriot. And we are so fortunate, Glenn, to have you serve our students in our community of the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And it is with so much gratitude that we share a tremendous appreciation for your service to the students and to the community in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Thank you.
Almost without words. So 3 thoughts come to my mind. The first one is a really big thank you for this recognition. Coming from peers is the most important because you know something about what this business is about. And so I really appreciate the recognition from peers. The second thought is, if there's a listener in the room or out there in TV land who's wondering, why is he getting this? There's a whole bunch of people who work really hard and really effectively. Well, I would say, I agree. And there are some examples right here. President Stead and I met each other in campaigns for millages. There was that task force part of the strategic planning process. She's a wonderful example of someone who's worked for years and not just on board service for keeping the funding adequately. Superintendent Swift keeps her eye on the budget, the financial situation all the time. Most importantly, the citizens of Ann Arbor who vote for millages. So long as we put together a good plan, we explain it well, they support public education. That's our real foundation. And the third thought is, I really want to thank everyone who works on this, that I can't think of anything more important than the education of children and young people. And to be part of a team in life that works on something really important is just, to me, what life should be about. So my thanks go to everyone for letting me be on the team. It was a terrific experience, is a terrific experience. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Are there comments trustees would like? Trustee Lightfoot.
Thank you so much. Wow, Glenn, it's so good to see you. It's always good to see you. I miss your passion as my seatmate up here. I also miss your thoughtfulness. I miss you writing on napkins and passing me the answers to some of the calculations up here. I love how you valued and continue to value facts over feelings. I miss that. We miss that in the public service sphere. And so we appreciate that. And the fact that we still get to work with you outside of your board service, but while you're still in service to the board is an honor and a privilege for us. So it's interesting you say thank you for letting you be on the team. You created the team and truly have served as the captain on many, many occasions. Your commitment to gaining understanding before you ever would make public declarations. That was important for our district, and you did that very well. And then the way you always assumed goodwill and garnered understanding if you were wrong. And so I appreciate you, I appreciate your service, I appreciate what you have done, and more significantly, I appreciate what you're gonna do with us next, because funding challenges aren't going away, and so we need you. Just thank you so much, truly.
Trustee Baskett.
Glenn, you know I'm here in part to your good work. So sometimes I don't know whether to blame you or to thank you, but I'm still here. And again, I just wanted, for the record, for people to know you were one of my earlier supporters in so many ways. And again, I have learned from you, and sometimes probably not enough. Maybe I should have been on the other side of that napkin passing, because the wealth of knowledge that you have. And to this day, when I'm asked a question regarding school funding or non-funding, I keep thinking, boy, I wish Glenn was here, because he'd give you the short and long answer, but a very thorough answer, and so I appreciate that. I have to say, envious of you, because when I still see you. I mean, you're out there nearly all the functions. We saw you last Saturday at Juneteenth with a big smile on your face. You look so refreshed, I have to say. I know you probably don't miss our long meetings on Wednesday, but as Trustee Lightfoot said, you are still serving our community and our children, and so appreciate that. And I hope to learn more of how you are doing in your life after school board pretty soon. We'll have to sit and talk more. But again, I can't thank you enough for your years of service. And I want to thank your family too, because what people forget often is us board members do have families, and we have sacrifices. And I knew I threw a chicken on a plate this evening and ran out of the door because I was late to a meeting, because our families make sacrifice. And so to Margie and to your children, thank you. I don't know if they're in the audience tonight, but you've given a lot to us, and what we're giving to you tonight is so menial, compared to what you've given to us. But, we're on a budget, so this is the best we can do. But thank you.
Sorry. Trustee Manley.
Hi, Glenn. It must have been about 10 years ago, maybe more. We were at a fundraiser for girls group. Standing on the porch, and you were talking about the board, and I said to you, maybe I need to run for the board. And you said, well, it's something you should think about. And lo and behold, 4 years ago, I thought about it. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for meeting with me and talking with me. And even though we didn't agree on the topic at the time, it was great to be able to have the conversation and to be honest in what we were feeling. So I want you to know that I do appreciate that. And I'm sorry I didn't get to serve with you, but I'm gonna, as all of us will, continue on to make not only you proud, Ann Arbor proud, our parents, our students, and to do everything we can to keep Ann Arbor the continuous exceptional district that it is.
Trustee Gaynor.
Glenn, people have already mentioned your commitment, your passion, your thoughtfulness. I have two more to add. What stands out most is your integrity, and this encompasses many, many things. I knew of your board service and the hard work you do, but I kept, what Trustee Baskett said, I kept seeing you around town. There'd be equity meetings in Ypsilanti. I think maybe the founding meeting of the Arab American Parent Group at the library. Yeah. Various things that I thought, I care about these things, but Glenn's already there, if not, sometimes in the audience, sometimes leading it. And I thought, this is somebody I really respect. I don't know if you knew who I was. I may have said, I eventually got up the courage to introduce myself, but you've had this trail. The other trait is humility, where you don't even allow people to see your brilliance, to be your ability to bring people together, to collaborate. You keep yourself, kind of unassuming, but those of us who work with you know the power you've had. And one more thing, maybe of a more humorous vein, but it does speak to both your integrity, to your humility. I took a long time deciding whether to run for the board, and when it really came down to, I had to give this a serious thought. Glenn, you were the one person I called to consult with. We met at a coffee house. I said, here, let me buy you, coffee. And he said, no, I don't do that. And then he gave me 2 hours of his time for a very down-to-earth, realistic talk about what this job entailed. And I would not have been prepared for this without that. So I thank you for that. And then the last thing is on the campaign trail, where there were two very cool things when we were campaigning, especially at schools. One was when Trustee Lightfoot's daughter, who I had as a student, was there passing out leaflets. And another time when you were, and of course, we were on opposite sides, hung around, but I so respected this civic engagement here and our ability to support each other, really, to respect each other, to make sure that people, if they took leaflets from me, also went to you to take it, because that's what we want, engaged citizens. So just a thin layer of all the things you've meant to me and you've meant to the schools and this community at large. Thank you.
Trustee Kelly.
Hello. I think Trustees Gaynor Mitchell and I have either said or heard it multiple times in the past few months that we got on a moving train. And occasionally we even get positive feedback about things that are happening. But this train didn't materialize out of nowhere. This train is here because of people like you who hauled the ties and laid the track and directed it so skillfully. So thank you for everything that you have done to mix metaphors, pave the way for the work that this board is doing now, and for your continued service. We really appreciate it.
Glenn, I'll just add, when I first met you, we were at the task force in the finance committee, of which was not a highly popular committee, it seemed. People wanted to serve in other areas, but not so much there. And the meeting had started, and this guy came in with his bike helmet in hand, and he had shorts on and a flannel shirt, and I thought, well, this is interesting. Everyone else had kind of come dressed up from work, and who is this guy? And of course, he sat kind of in the back of the room and didn't say much, but it was pretty clear within minutes that he was the smartest guy in the room. And whatever inspired you to spend the many hours you did with me to help me understand school funding and finance, which I think could get a PhD from any university at the level and the time and the detail that you went through with me, I'll forever be grateful. But that's when I first got to know you well. And there was no reason to do that with me. I was just anybody else in the room. And it just speaks so much to who Glenn is. Everybody is worth Glenn's time for Glenn, and we all feel that. And I think that special skill that you love everybody so much, and you're willing to invest that kind of time and energy with anybody, people like me. And it just, the ripple effect is amazing. And your most recent effort that we're acknowledging for you for tonight is just one very small thing in many years of big and small things you've done to keep this district the kind of district that it is. So it's with our great pleasure and our great honor to honor you tonight as well. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah.